So today our group would like to give a presentation on the topic flexible manufacturing systems. Yeah. Hello, Kanak.
Ah, so, sir, history, introduction, and classifications will be discussed by me, and later on I will hand it to Atharva. So, sir, history. Next slide.
थोड़ा सा लाउडली बोलो बेटा, आवाज नहीं आ रहा है बराबर. हाँ, थोड़ा लाउडली, माइक एकदम नजदीक पकड़. हाँ.
Sir, so first the FMS was first conceptualized for machining, and it was required the prior development of NC, where NC stands for numerical control. This concept was credited to David Williamson, a British engineer during mid 1960s, and in the late 1960s, the first FMS machining system was installed at Ingersoll Rand Company in Virginia. Germany implemented its first FMS in 1969 in cooperation with the University of Stuttgart. Russia and Japan also implemented FMS in 1962. Now coming to India, sir, India is at its uh, starting stage at implementing FMS. It is not fully fledged. FMS has not yet started in India. Next slide. Next slide. Hmm. So, what is FMS? A flexible manufacturing system is an automated machine cell consisting of group of processing workstations interconnected with automated material handling and storage systems. The FMS is most suited for mid variety and mid volume production range. The flexibility is generally considered to fall into two categories, which both contain numerous subcategories. Next slide. Next slide. Ah. So now why FMS? Sir, FMS can external changes such as change in production design and production system, optimizing the manufacturing cycle system, reduce production costs, and overcoming internal changes like breakdowns, etc. Apart from this, sir, FMS has many advantages such as increased labor productivity, increased machine efficiency, improved product quality, increased system reliability, reduced parts inventory, and shorter lead time and increased product rate. Next slide. So now what makes it flexible? Three capabilities that a manufacturing system must possess to be flexible are as follows: the ability to identify and distinguish among the different parts styles processed by the system; second, quick changeover of operating instructions; and third, quick changeover of physical setup. Next. Now coming to the classification of FMS, flexible manufacturing systems can be distinguished according to the number of machines in the system. The following are typical categories: single machine cell, flexible manufacturing cell, and flexible manufacturing system. Handing it to Atharva, you can continue.
Yeah, according to what he said, the flexible manufacturing systems are classified on the basis of the number of CNC machining centers, or we also call it as workstations. As the slide says, a single machining cell consists of one CNC machining center, which is combined with a part storage system for unattended operation. That is, the parts which are yet to be operated are also stored in a particular place called a part storage system, which is an integral, integral advantage, or you can say it is an integral part of a flexible manufacturing system for which it is known. And this is for the uncompleted parts, and the completed parts are periodically unloaded from the part storage unit, and raw work parts are loaded onto it. Basically, the single cell, it can be designed to operate in either a batch mode or a flexible mode. There are two modes. When operated in a batch mode, the machine processes parts of a single style in specified lot sizes, and it is then changed over to a process to process a batch of the next style. So basically, a batch mode is a mode which can only process in a one particular style, and it can be said it is an anomaly of the flexible manufacturing system. So in the and the second mode is the flexible mode. Uh, so when operated in a flexible mode, the system satisfies three of the four flexibility criteria. So the first one being that it is capable of processing different part styles, which could not be done in the batch mode. Second is responding to changes in production schedule. So, for example, if a part is suppose there is a chain of processes to be done on a part. For example, the first process is you're doing boring. Second is drilling. Third is slotting. So if one part has to be gone through all these processes in a single line, in a single a batch. In a flexible mode, this can also be altered. Suppose we need a part which has to go through that process which I said about, but then we realize that we have to change it. Like पहले slotting था, फिर boring था, फिर drilling था. So then if we want to change it according to our needs, then we can do that. We can alter it by keeping slotting first, then boring. Like I hope we get it. So that is the second thing. Then the third thing is accepting new part introductions. If we have already a completed part which is already machined or processed, and if we want to put another part in middle, what actually happens in flexible manufacturing systems, this is one advantage, when it is conventional, only one part goes through a complete process till it is completed. You can't enter another part in between. So suppose if we think that one part is completed, but later we realize there is an error, and we want to change some dimension, or we need to do some changes in it. In conventional processes, we can't do that, but in flexible, that is in single machine cells and the other types, we can do that easily. So that is one advantage of the flexible manufacturing system. Coming on to the next thing, this single machine cell is just one workstation of the CNC machining center. Coming to the next step is flexible manufacturing cell. So as I said, these types are organized on the basis of the number of working stations. That is the number of CNC machines. So the CNC, if there is one CNC machining cell, it is called single cell. Now coming on to the flexible manufacturing cell, as the slide suggests, a flexible manufacturing cell consists of 2 or 3 processing workstations. As you see, typically CNC machining centers, that is workstations. So when there are 2 or 3 or basically 2 or 3 workstations, it is called flexible manufacturing system, plus a part handling system. The part handling system is connected to a load unload station. The part handling system and load unload station will come across when we are in the component slide. Focusing on this flexible manufacturing cell, it consists of basically 2 or 3 processing workstations, and as you can see in the figure, those 3 workstations, these 3 workstations are connected to a shuttle rack. This conveyor belt looking like figure is a shuttle rack on which the parts are placed, and this thing is the load unload station. So basically, as I said, कि flexible का एक advantage है कि you can load and unload on any the part anywhere you want, like in between the process. So the part is placed on a shuttle cart, and the cart is then driven on the shuttle track. So basically, when a part is kept on the shuttle cart and it comes to the first workstation, the part is processed. Then after processing it, the part goes on to the unload station, where it is then transported to the next shuttle cart. The next shuttle cart then moves on the shuttle track, comes to the second workstation, and so on. Coming on to the flexible manufacturing systems. So the flexible manufacturing system is just an, basically it is just an alternative to the flexible manufacturing cell, because it has 4 or more processing workstations. In flexible manufacturing cell, there was only 2 or 3, and this has 4 or more processing workstations connected mechanically by a common part handling system and electronically by a distributed computer system. The distributed computer system also will come in the component slide. So as I said, the flexible manufacturing cell satisfies the 4 flexibility test as discussed previously. Basically what the FMS and FMC are basically divided or can be organized and it is an important distinction between an FMS and FMC is that only the number of workstations or the CNC machining centers are different. That's it. There is no major distinction between both of those. These are some of the images of the flexible manufacturing systems. The first one being the small model of the Allied Signal Processing Workstation, or of the flexible manufacturing system. The Allied Signal Processing Workstation we will see in the upcoming slide also. So yeah, these are some of the images. Now now this is the a 5-machine FMS for machining of Cincinnati Milacron. Cincinnati is just the place. Milacron Incorporated is actually the company which used to manufacture extrusion molds and casting molds for companies all throughout the globe. It was at its peak in 1999, and it was one of the first companies to install an FMS in the US. Then this is just a GIF to show you the installing of FMS in G Corp Incorporated. This was the installation there. Sorry, it's GCon. Yeah. As I said, this is the Allied Signals Flexible Manufacturing System. Allied Signals is another aerospace and machining industry in the US, situated in Pennsylvania. And it was also one of the first companies to install a flexible manufacturing system in the US. Later on, it was taken over by a company called Honeydew. Honeydew is also a mother company which has over 2,000 to 3,000 small companies under its name till now. Yeah, so this was one of the most intricate designs of the flexible manufacturing system at that day. So you can see how beautifully they have 3 machining centers, connected to a track. And then we also have the wash station and the control room, the storage station where as I said earlier, the parts which are completed are stored. Then here is a tool setter, and I said the load unload station is also. So it's just technology advancement. So coming on to the basic components of FMS, the workstations, automated material handling and storage systems, and computer control system. These components of FMS are actually the 3 points which make FMS different from the conventional one, because you can't get an automated material handling or a part storage system in the same place. Basically, in conventional, what used to happen, you used to process a part in a particular place, then you used to transport it to any other place for different manufacturing or storage. So from there, it used to get transported to other parts of the world. Basically, if anyone has seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the basic idea of Willy Wonka was to keep everything at one place, and that is what led to its development. And and that made it different from other chocolate producers. So coming on to the workstations, are distinguished into load unload station, machining stations, other processing stations, and assembly. We will be focusing on load unload stations and machining stations. So the workstations in particular are the processing or assembly equipment used in an FMS, which depends on the type of work accomplished by the system. In a system designed for machining operations, the principal types of processing stations are CNC machine tools, as I said earlier. However, the FMS concept is also applicable to various other processes as well. Following are the types. First, load unload station. This load unload station is Indian, and the company is can't see it. Sorry, I forgot. So load unload station is the physical interface between the FMS and the rest of the factory. Raw work parts enter the system at this point, as I said, and finished parts exit the system from here. And exit from here to the part work storage, which I showed in the previous diagram. Loading and unloading can be accomplished either manually or by automated handling systems. Manual loading and unloading is prevalent in most FMS today, which will save the human resources. That is one thing that we as humans can do in this automated world. The load under station should be ergonomically designed to permit convenient and safe movement of work parts. For parts that are too heavy to lift by the generator or the operator, mechanized cranes and other handling devices are installed to assist the operator. This is where the cellular manufacturing equipments come into picture. The load unload station should include a data entry unit and monitor for communication between the operator and the computer system. Yeah, of course, there should be some link now. There should be communication between the operator and the computer controller, because otherwise things will go haywire. Instructions must be given to the operator regarding which part to load onto the next pallet to adhere to the production schedule. In cases when different pallets are required for different parts, the correct pallet must be supplied to the station. Coming on to the machining stations or the machining center. Now this is the most common application of FMS are machining operations. The workstation used in these systems are therefore predominantly CNC machine type. Most common in the CNC machining center is the horizontal machining center. The machining centers possess features that make them compatible with the FMS, including automatic tool changing. Now you can see automatic tool changing and this can't be done in the conventional type. So you need FMS, automated FMS for this. So this is also one of the advantages, including automated tool changing and tool storage, use of palletized work parts, CNC, and capacity for distributed numerical control. Machining centers can be ordered with automatic pallet changes that can be readily interfaced with the FMS part handling system. Basically, what it means is the tool changing or the automatic tool changing has to be interfaced with the FMS part handling system. Part handling system is the AGV, that's automatic governing vehicles, or the automatic cancelling vehicles as they are called. So machining centers are generally used for non-rotational parts. For rotational parts, turning centers are used. And for parts that are mostly rotational but require multi-tooth rotational cutters. Example, milling and grinding. Coming on to the material handling system, as I said, the second major component of an FMS is its material handling and storage system. The types of material handling systems used to transfer parts between stations include a variety of conventional material, that is transport equipment, inline transfer mechanisms, and industrial robots. You can see on the slide automated forklift. This, as we know, there is a forklift which transports small boxes or any component from one place to another in the industry. And this is also a rail traveler. As we saw in the earlier slides, I have shown you the Allied Signals FMS. It had a track which was connected to the machining center. On that track, I showed you there was a shuttle rack. The shuttle rack is also uska ek on ground reality which is magnified. A magnified version of the shuttle rack is the rail traveler. So that rail, basically shuttle rack was used in the flexible manufacturing cell. But a flexible manufacturing system is even better. As I said, cell it was 2 or 3 machining centers, but system had more than 2 or 3. So when you have a larger industry, you need a rail traveler to move from one place to another because it's a huge place. So a rail traveler is just an improved or a greater version of the shuttle track. So the material handling function in an FMS is often shared between two systems, a primary material handling and a secondary material handling. We'll focus on the primary handling. Basically, a primary handling is nothing. It's just a handling system which establishes the basic layout of the FMS and is responsible for moving work parts between stations in the system. So this forklifter is just a conventional system, whereas a rail traveler is a primary material handling system. Coming on to the computer control programmable logic controller. The FMS includes a distributed computer system that is interfaced to the workstations, material handling system, and other hardware components. A typical FMS computer system consists of a central computer, which sends signals to different workstations that, as I said, there has to be a link between the operator and the person sitting on the computer, who is doing the automation and coding the program of the CNC machine. So there has to be a link. So a typical FMS computer system consists of central computer and microcomputers controlling the individual machines, that is the CNC machines, and other components. The central computer coordinates the activities of the components to achieve smooth overall operation of the system. Coming on to the human resources, that is what is our part as humans in FMS, that is in the industry. So some functions include loading of raw work parts in the system, unloading finished parts from the assembly. Though this point, unloading finished parts or assemblies from the system is not actually not actually a function right now, but still I have written on the slide because as I said earlier, the load unload stations are done by AGVs, and the AGVs transport the finished parts from the a CNC machining center, that is from the shuttle rack, to the parts storage system, as I said earlier. Then changing and setting tools. As I said in the flexible manufacturing side, the CNC is connected to tool storage, where the tools can be wait. This thing. So the tool storage is where the tools uh, are placed, and a variety of tools are placed for processing the part, and the tools can be removed by the operator, that is we as humans, and it can be and any tool which is needed can be put on the spindle, and the part can be processed. And setting tools, equipment maintenance and repair, and CNC part programming in the machining process. Of course, that is the computer operator. Coming to the layouts of FMS, which was covered by some other group, and I will just give a brief introduction of it. So the progressive layout, as it is very clear from the figure in the slide, a progressive layout is a line layout. So a part, it is loaded by a loadman on the part transport system. The work part which is to be machined, it is put on the part transport system by the loadman. The one part goes into the machine, automatical machine, does one process, then it by the load unload station, it is then sent to the second one, second process is done, then the third process is done, fourth, and then the unloading man then unloads it to the unload station, where it goes to the completed part then goes to the part storage system. This is very very simple. एक line में होता है सब कुछ. The second thing, that is the loop layout. The basic loop configuration is as shown in the figure. The parts usually move in one direction around the loop with the capability to stop and to be transferred to any station. The loading and unloading station are typically located at one end of the loop, as shown in the figure. Ladder type layout. The configuration is shown in the figure, and the loading and unloading station is typically located at the same end. The sequence to the operation or the transfer of parts from one machine tool to another is in the form of ladder. Yeah, the loading is here and the unloading is on the opposite end, and then the parts are circulated in a ladder form. If suppose we need to stop here, then then you have to take a right turn to the first machining center. If you don't want to, you can just go on, and if you want to go to the second thing, you can take a right turn over here. So it's basically your choice, and this is very efficient than the line layout now, because suppose if you want to cursor so suppose if you want to go to the second one, and then you realize कि अरे हाँ first का बाकी है, so you can't come backwards, right? So that is one advantage of this. Then coming on to the open field type, the configuration of the open field is as shown in the figure. The loading and unloading station is typically located at the same end. I don't know why this thing is prevalent. The open field sorry, the loading and unloading station is on the same side. Unlike the line layout, all the other layouts have the loading and unloading station on the same side. So this one thing is that I have to look into. I haven't yet. The open field type configuration has the loading and unloading station on the same side. The parts will go through all the substations such as the CNC machines, coordinate measuring machines, and wash station by the help of AGVs, as I said earlier, AGVs, from one substation to another. Last but not the least, the robot-centered layout, which is the most common layout in today's FMS. It is a relatively new form of flexible system in which one or more robots are used as the material handling systems, as shown in the figure below. Industrial robots can be equipped with grippers that make them well suited for handling of rotational parts. Grippers is nothing but gloves, mechanical gloves for mechanical robots. Yeah, so over to Kedar now for the applications of FMS.
Good afternoon, sir. Let us come to the applications of FMS. FMS can be used in any production method like metal cutting or metal forming, or we want to do the assembly of parts, or we want to do welding. It can be also used for uh, material for surface treatment of materials or inspection and testing purposes. Next slide. Okay, now let us come to the advantages of FMS system. The first advantage is that it reduces the setup time and queue times. That is, whenever if we do it by conventional methods, then we have to set the machine, we have to set the workpiece, then we have to inspect whether it is properly arranged or not. So all these processes, we more time is wasted, while in FMS this tool changing time, inspection time is saved, which increases the efficiency of our production. The second point is it improves the efficiency. It is the same thing. It is basically improving efficiency by reducing the production time. The next advantage is that there is a reduction time for product completion. Now, since there is an increase in productivity because very advanced machinery is involved in FMS, we get a very good efficiency. The next point is uh, we can utilize the human workers in a better way. For some conventional machining process, let's say we require 3 to 4 workers. Then by using the for the same process using FMS, we may require only one. So it is basically saving the cost uh, of labor to the company. The next advantage is that it improves the product routing. Then it okay, so we can produce the next advantage is that we can produce a variety of items under a single roof. Like if we want to, as I have discussed in the first advantage, we can carry a variety of operations in this single under a same roof. Okay. The next point is that we get a improved product quality. Now, since we are using machinery and less human interaction is involved, we are bound to get a good product quality. Okay. Then using FMS, we can handle a variety of vendors simultaneously, so that we can produce a variety of products with the less effort using FMS. Next point is we can produce more products quickly because we are using automation. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah. Now let us discuss the disadvantage. Let us now discuss the disadvantages of FMS. Implementing FMS in production process can be complicated because it requires very extensive planning and more disciplined environment as compared to conventional production processes. Like if we want to set up FMS in our production house, then we will have to plan the route, and as Atharva discussed the different types of layouts, we need to choose the best layout for our requirement. Then it requires a highly skilled workers to operate machinery and for the maintenance of machinery. Although we are requiring the less workers in this FMS, using FMS system in our production house, but then we will be requiring very highly skilled workers to operate and to give the commands to the machinery. So it again increases the cost to company. The next point is that FMS requires very high initial investment. As a result, companies having huge capitals can only implement the FMS system. Although we are getting very good quality products and we are getting very good efficiency, we cannot use FMS for small scale production or limited orders. Only big production houses can implement FMS in their production. The next point is the same thing, that we can use FMS only for medium to large scale production because it is having a very huge investment. Next, yeah, challenges with FMS. The challenge is that determining if the FMS is the best production system for your company, as other groups have also presented the various production systems. It is quite difficult to understand whether FMS is the best option for your company according to your production needs. Okay. Possible expansion cost implementing FMS. Now, if we establish a FMS system in our production house, and then after a few years, if I want to expand my business, then the cost involved in that process is very high. Next slide. So now let me give the conclusion. FMS is a revolutionary in the manufacturing technology. It can be designed to meet the specific demand of each company, so that it is a very flexible system, as its name suggests. It can be implemented according to the demand of each company. It can be used for it is used for multitask operation. That is the same thing, we can do various operations under the same roof. Okay, and the last point is FMS requires substantial investment of time and resources. Yeah, it requires very high investment. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, sir.
Why microphone is again and again muting? That's why I cannot speak. References would you like to give?
Sir, report में है references.
Report में है, ठीक है. Anybody want to ask any doubt, please, from the public regarding FMS? They have very nicely explained that every system of FMS, its components, what is cell, what is system, okay, compared to process layout, compared with the job layout, how it is combined, how the flexibility is incurred, how these automatic guided vehicles, manipulators, and that what we call it, loading unloading devices, how they work, how the automatic storage is even there. So they have explained it, various types of layouts, as it is repeating in many of the seminar, but still they have explained that. Pandit has very went into detail for this study, and that advantage, disadvantage, application, and that is clearly told by Parab later on. So it's a good team operation. So I like the seminar. This I would like to tell here. So this flexible manufacturing system and transfer line system, they are very closely related. So we have one topic, transfer line system, that is included in the next syllabus. Okay, in the old syllabus, that word was remaining. So transfer line system. So that is also included along with flexible manufacturing system, and these conveyor lines which are moving the trays ahead or bins ahead along with the component, they are basically belt type conveyor or roller type conveyor or sometimes hook type conveyor depending upon the configuration of the workpiece. Okay, so so the entire thing and construction cost is higher. So this is only possible when you have repetitive order or big order, then only it is worth to go with this. And manpower is drastically reduced, but at the same time, as you all are mentioning, highly skilled people are required not only for running, but if something goes down, then to repair and maintain it. So very highly skilled people are needed, otherwise it will be a big bottleneck. तो ये सब सोच के हमको ये सब करना है. So big manufacturing companies, big three, what we call General Motors and what Motorola and other things, they are using in their production shop. Automobile companies, they are using this. And as Pandit was telling, that horizontal milling machine or horizontal boring machine, that CNC machine. So that day somebody was giving seminar. There is one vertical one and horizontal one. That time I had told you horizontal is more popular. So this is here because multiple operations are done by that horizontal one. Okay, so these points were very nice from this seminar, and in fact they have covered a lot. Flexible manufacturing system has on that many books are written, material is available, but everything they have incurred in this seminar. That's a good point I liked about this seminar. So if you don't have any doubt, then I will close this discussion. Okay, so I'm stopping the recording now. Just a minute. So stop the recording.
So thanks.
Thanks.